All right, guys, we are getting back to our engine teardown for a 94 Mustang GT convertible. They were getting ready for the Hot Rod Power Tour. Today, the plan is I need to get this thing torn down a little bit. This is the short block that we're not using, but I want to go ahead and get some of this stuff torn off because I need to start getting the heads prepared. I want to get the oil pan off of here so that we can get that oil pan fully installed onto the motor that's actually going into the Mustang, which is this bad boy right here. So let's go ahead and get all this stuff off, and then we can start to actually get the turbo oil return drilled into this oil pan. Let me show you real quick what I mean by that. So for our turbocharger, this is the oil drain line. This is a 10 AN return. This is all pretty standard stuff. So what we need is we're going to need this bad boy to go and exit right into our oil pan, kind of high up, so that way it doesn't have oil to contend with, and it can easily drain. So I'm going to go ahead and place a mark on that. We're going to get this thing off. We're going to get it drilled, and then what I've got is actually a bung here that is actually made to not be welded. It's actually just got a threaded end on the inside. You can just thread that on in there. So never used this before. We've always welded them, so I'm a little bit worried about it. A little bit worried about that thing coming off, but we're going to put a bunch of red Loctite on it and pray and hope for the best. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is check out this throttle body. So I ended up picking up this throttle body off of Amazon for $50. I'm not shitting you. $50. Came with sensors. I mean, $50, dude. And look, it works. 102 millimeter. My high ram has actually a hole for 105 millimeter, but this Chinese knockoff company, they don't make the 105, so 102 is just fine. But I mean, for the money, we're gonna see how it works. I mean, even if these sensors suck and I got to buy new sensors for another 40 or $50, still I'd have $100 into it. I mean, it seems like a real nice piece too. I mean, the aluminum, the machine work looks really good. So we'll see how it holds up, but freaking stoked. $50. Put the link down below for that bad boy. All right, so we got our oil pan swapped out. So this is the old oil pan from our motor from the 94. This is the spare short block that we're not going to be using. So this short block, I think it actually came from like an 87 or an 88 Mustang GT. So I know I ran the block number before, but this is one of the years that had the forged pistons in it. So it's all forged. So I don't know. I might keep this around just kind of as a spare block, or maybe something in the future we can build it. I do have I think I have a 347 Scat stroker crank over in the corner, so maybe we could build this into a 347. But anyway, we'll see. Or I might just end up selling it because it's going to be taking up a whole bunch of room. But we'll see. Let's get her out of the way and keep on keeping on. So I think next what I want to do is I want to get the high volume oil pump and the new oil pickup onto the bottom of this thing, and I don't really feel like riding the struggle bus underneath, so I'm going to go ahead and flip this motor over. I know there is still some coolant inside the passages of the heads, which I've seen, so that's all going to just dump right out. So I've got some kitty litter on standby, so we're going to make a big mess, but at least this way we can get this thing completely emptied out, and then I can go ahead and get the high volume pump on, all that good stuff. Yep, that's already coming. See how much of a mess we make. Okay. Sure. I guess we could get our drain pan or something at least, right? I don't know how much we're going to catch, but maybe something, right? Do got an issue where this bolt is hitting. There we go. If you could just get in there, that'd be cool. Well, there There we go. Now, luckily, I can see right away. This motor had a nice like rubber gasket that I don't think was original equipment. It was probably replaced at some point. So we've got a beautiful surface on here. So we'll get this cleaned up once we get all this swapped out. But looking really good. Now it looks like we just got one bolt right here, which is a 14 millimeter, and then we got a couple smaller ones, maybe 13s. Yeah, that don't fit. So we'll get that out of the way, and then I think we got just a couple bolts here that are holding on our pump, and then there's some kind of rod that goes down for the oil pump and spin. So I've got to see if our new high volume pump came with the new one. If not, we just reuse the old one. So it should be a pretty simple deal. If we have the going the right way here. She's got some torque on her. Okay. Yep, 13 millimeter on those guys. Huh, okay. There we go, and she's off. Now with these Ford oil pumps, like I was telling you guys, here's this little rod, and this is actually what is spinning the oil pump. So it's just kind of spinning that bad boy, and then it's sucking in the oil and putting it down into the motor. So it's pretty interesting, pretty neat. Here's our new stuff. This is our new pickup. It's a little bit different than the old one. So you can see, shape's totally different. This got a totally different pan. And of course, it's going into this, I think this is like a road race pan. I'll put the link down below for all the stuff, all the specs, but hopefully it fits with our, we got a K member, a tubular K member, so hopefully this thing fits. But we'll see. And then here's our new high volume pump. So I think all this stuff's from Speedway Motors, but there's the part number for the high volume pump for 302. And then basically this bad boy just says we need to put some oil down in it and then take the shaft, and then you can just manually kind of pre-lube it, and then we'll get the old one out. Again, it's just going to be 2 bolts here. Get this baby out of the way, pop the new one on. Now that oil pump drive gear, like I was telling you guys, it just goes down right through that hole. So basically that little collar right there just keeps it from going too far. So you literally just slide the bad boy in there, and he just sits there, and then put the pump on top, bolt it back down. So that's pretty easy. We're not going to use this one. We're going to throw that with the junk, and we do have the brand new one here somewhere. So let me go get some oil. Like I said, I'm just going to pour a little bit of oil down here and just kind of let it go around. Make sure we don't have kind of a dry start problem issue. So with this oil pump, there is no gasket on the mating surface side for the engine. I looked at the old one, looked at the new one, didn't come with no gasket. And then I got to looking around at this side, and my new pump, it came with no gaskets. But I got to looking at that side, and it does look like on the old gasket, or the old pump, there is a gasket there. So I did buy myself a Felpro kind of master, 302/5 liter gasket kit. So this has like pretty much everything. And I did find the gasket for that. But this kit kind of comes with most everything. Head gaskets. It's even got freaking valve seals that we're not going to use. And a lot of this we maybe won't use. I'm not sure if I want to use like cork, for example, for valve cover gaskets, or even for the oil pan. So maybe I'll upgrade. But some of this stuff's fine, like for the water pump and all that crap. And this is super cheap. I think this kit was like $65 or something for all this stuff from I think this one came from AutoZone. So pretty good. I'll put the part numbers and stuff down below. Yeah, I think it's right there. 2601558. So that's your master kit for all this stuff. Now I was starting to put on this oil pickup tube. So this oil pickup tube, was in all my big box of parts, because kind of the background is a couple years ago I ended up buying a whole bunch of parts, including this engine. It came with, the Holley high ram, all this kind of crap, the oil pan. And so with that high volume pump, it also came with this oil pickup here. And I, figured this was the right one, but this baby is not for a small block Ford for sure. Look at this thing. Like, look where that tab is there. Yeah, that don't seem right. Unless they want you to go and use that, transfer that stud there to that main cap there. But man, I don't know if I really want to unbolt the main cap. That seems, I don't know, seems kind of sketchy. So I don't know. Let me think about that, and we'll see what way we're going to go. All right, so lo and behold, I looked up the part number for this pickup. It is the right part number. This is for a Ford 302. So it looks like when you're using this bad lad that you just simply need to move this tang or, threaded stud on this main bearing cap over to this guy. So, YOLO. We're just going to do it. I'm just going to freaking unbolt this thing. We're going to swap them. And, fingers crossed it doesn't completely mess up our crankshaft and cause all kinds of issues. So, yeah. But, I did some quick measurement and stuff, and it looks like this is pretty close to what we need for that pan and everything. I mocked it up. I put the pan on. It does fit and everything. So I think that's all we need to do is swap that out. Otherwise, yeah, I don't feel super comfortable just leaving it, for the possibility that it can move around or vibrate or break off or something. So I'd feel a lot better if it was at least, bolted on there. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think we just need to swap it out. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, baby. So I did swap these two studs out, or the two main cap bolts. And so what I read is that this needs about 60 to 70 pound-feet of torque for the main bearing caps. So it said just go ahead and loosen them. It should be no problem. Just loosen each one a little bit at a time. Both bolts, even though I only need one. So I did that for both sets of the caps. Just loosened them. And then now for retightening, I just did it in a few different sequences. I did it like a hand tight, then 30 foot-pounds, 50 foot-pounds, and I'm going to do 65. Just, it said 60, 70, so I'm just going to split it in the middle and just go ahead and do the final torque. And then we should be all set. All right, well, that wasn't so scary. Now we can take our gasket and actually get to starting to bolt this bad boy back on here now. All right. Looking good. She's going to need some massaging. I can already tell here. All right, back to the fun. Boys, it has been a pain in the butt battling with this oil pickup tube and this oil pan, but I finally got it all working. It all fits. It's all pretty happy. So let me kind of show you guys what we had to do here. So inside of this pan, there's some baffles here that stick out, mainly this one here. And this was actually hitting our pickup tube, causing some issues. So I had to play around for a long time with. First, I tried hitting it down with the hammer, then I bent it up a little higher, and finally I got it to work. But I think the reason why that was actually hitting is because I had to do some modification on the pickup tube to get the height right. So the top of the pan is like something like, I think 7.5 inches tall from the edge of the block here. And so the instructions say the pickup tube should be about 1/4 inch like a 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch above that. So I ended up, I had to kind of hammer it. I got it all tightened down. I kind of had to hammer it, move it over and stuff to get it. So we finally got it at about 7 1/4. It's still flat, still perpendicular, so it's perfect. But holy cow, that took a long time, and it should have taken just a minute to bolt it on. So anyway, that's pretty much that's all I've got time for today. So we'll pick it up tomorrow. Tomorrow we can take that oil pan, finish drilling the hole into it, which I'll show you tomorrow, but that's going to actually be fun because there's some baffles inside that oil pan that are kind of right in the way. So I've got to make some decisions on that. But anyway, today at least we got the oil pan kind of all switched over, and then tomorrow we can, like I said, we'll finish up getting the oil pan drain from the turbo in the pan, and then we can start to actually get this thing cleaned up, get the pan fully bolted on with the gasket, and then kind of finish cleaning, finish degreasing, and then we're hopefully going to be painting this thing. I do have to get the timing cover on, and I do have a new timing cover seal, so I do need to get that put on as well tomorrow. So that'll be all going on tomorrow and stuff on the next video. So anyway, guys, like, share, subscribe. Hopefully this helps you guys out. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.